But there are many, many more. There's three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were taken as prisoners from Israel, taken to a foreign country, Babylon. But you see, the Babylonian king, he somehow recognized that there might be somebody smart in his captives. And he thought, well, if I make some of them rulers and advisors, maybe it'll help me deal with this group of people that I've captured. And so he actually made them part of his government. They were kind of trusted people, but they weren't real high up there. They were just kind of in the middle. One day, Nebuchadnezzar had this dream about this great image. And Daniel, one of the others, he wasn't part of this story, but he told the king what this dream meant. And basically meant that his kingdom was going to start here, and then it was going to get conquered, and there's going to be other kingdoms, and other kingdoms, and other kingdoms. But Nebuchadnezzar, being who he is, and thinking how great he is, he decided he'd tweak that just a little bit. He was going to make an idol, an image, like the one he'd seen in his dream, but the whole image, from start to finish, from head to toe, was going to be gold. His kingdom was going to last forever. So he does that, and being the egomaniac that he was, he makes it, I think, 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide. This thing was huge. Takes it out, posts it in the middle of a big wide open space, and then he commands all the people. He brings all the rulers, all the wealthy people, all the important people of Babylon, brings them all out there, and he says, well, now, we're going to dedicate this image. Of course, it looked an awful lot like him. But I want all of you guys to bow down and worship this image. When the flutes play and the harps play, everybody's supposed to bow down. And by the way, in case you're just a little uncertain about whether you want to do that or not, over here, we have a furnace. He was into visual aids, okay? There was flames already jumping up over here. There was a few guys over here stoking the fire, just to make the point. He says, if you don't bow down, I know you're all loyal to me, and I know you all think I'm great, but in case you're wondering just a little bit whether you should do this, here's this furnace, and that's where you're going to go. So, of course, the flutes played, and the harps played, and nobody wants to go there, right? But there was three men, somewhere in the back, who didn't bow. Now, guess who told on them? It was some of the other rulers. You see, anytime you're following God, God tends to bless you. He moves you up. That's what was happening to Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego. But the people around them were jealous. They didn't want these Hebrew slaves, these captives, being anybody over them, overseeing them, or being superior to them. So they come to Nebuchadnezzar like the little tattletales that they were and say, Mr. King, can you believe these people? Man alive, the gall they would have. We know that you're God. They stood up. Nebuchadnezzar was furious. He ordered them, come. They stood in front of him and he says, what is this I hear about you? You didn't bow? What's wrong with you? But I'll tell you what. I know you're part of my cabinet. I've been watching you. You're not too bad. So I'm going to give you a second chance. They're going to play the flutes and the harps again and the drums, and then you bow. As long as you bow, it's all good. I'll let it slide. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego met this leap of faith head on. They looked King Nebuchadnezzar right in the eye and said, you know what? It's not necessary for you to play the music again. We're not going to bow. We need you to know that there is one God, and we serve Him, and we will not bow down to any other God. Our God is capable of delivering us from your furnace. But even if He chooses not to, we will bow only to our God. At that, Nebuchadnezzar just blew a gasket. He was insane with rage. He says, burn that thing! Stoke the fires! I want it 7 times hotter! I want the whole furnace to burn down! And then throw these guys in there. So he gets the biggest, most powerful guys in his army. They wrap him up, wrap Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego up in ropes, and they're carrying him over there, and they get up the first, they throw him in. And it's so hot, these big burly guys fall down from heat exhaustion and die. And they weren't even in the furnace. But then the real fun starts. Nebuchadnezzar, as mad as he was, still managed to concentrate, and he's looking at this fiery furnace and he's going, but, no! We put 3 men in there, right? 3! And his advisors, yeah, we put 3 guys in there, king, yeah, only 3. But I see 4! I see 4. And the fourth one looks like he's the son of a god. All of a sudden he starts trembling and shaking. And he's going, maybe these Hebrews are right. This can't be. This fire was so hot, it killed my men before they even got in it. This is impossible. Oh my! The ropes are burned off of them and they're not even hurt. At this point, he starts to realize that he can't be God and there is a real God. So he asks them, come on out, come on out. Interesting thing happens. Not only does Nebuchadnezzar forgive Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego for their wrongfulness in not bowing to his idol, but he makes a second decree. Throughout all of Babylon, anyone that speaks badly about the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I will cut him in pieces. He's still a violent man. Couldn't get away from that. But at least he was righteously incensed for the right God this time. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood at the precipice of a huge cliff. And God said, jump. I'll catch you. This is your leap of faith. They looked God full in the face. They looked the demon full in his face and stepped off the cliff. They had no way of knowing for sure whether God would save them. They even said so directly to King Nebuchadnezzar. But God did, and through that act of faith, through that leap of faith, not only did the entire kingdom of Babylon see who God really was, but God won over this king, this man who was more in love with himself than anything else on the planet, into supporting God. It was a huge victory for God. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were catapulted into higher positions, and more respect.